The board will now review agenda items 5 through 8 and 12. They're separated, along with information items 9 through 11. For the academic committee to recommend to the full board, the first item of agenda on the agenda is number 5. And that action item is a technical certificate and a certificate of proficiency in energy management by North Arkansas College, beginning on page 5-1 of the agenda book. Mr. Mason Campbell will provide background information.
Thank you, Dr. Cash. Good morning. Agenda item number 5 is a TC and CP in Energy Management at North Arkansas College. The proposed 17-hour certificate of proficiency and 35 credit hour technical certificate in energy management are designed to prepare students for an entry-level career in energy management, building science, and related fields with a focus on sustainable practices and green technologies. The program will focus on workforce training for local and regional businesses, partners, and contractors. Proposed program will stack into the existing Associate of Applied Science and General Tech. Students will explore energy auditing, renewable energy systems, energy efficient building design, energy modeling, energy codes, and standards. Students will learn how to analyze energy usage data and develop energy management plans that can help reduce energy consumption and save costs. They will learn how to perform blower door and duct blasting tests, capture and interpret thermal imagery, install and service scaled solar, wind, and hydronic systems, and perform load calculations. Over the next 10 years, careers in renewable energy industry are set to increase more than 3%, with a median wage ranging from $38,000 to $53,000 or higher depending on the occupation in the chosen field. One part-time faculty member will be hired for this program. Existing resources and facilities will be used. Additional equipment, training, and program accreditations will be funded from general revenue, Perkins funds, reserve funds, endowed chairs, and potential grants from a number of associations and Arkansas workforce agencies. There are no other active programs similar to the proposed program in the state. Projected initial enrollment is 5 students by AY 25 with overall cumulative enrollment of 13 students by AY 29. Projected initial graduates are 4 by AY 25 and 12 by AY 29. And Dr. Matt Carden is here from North Arkansas College to speak to your consideration of the program and answer any questions.
Good morning, Dr. Cash and everybody.
Any questions from the board concerning this? I think we all agree it's something that's needed for sure. I notice several of the schools, even public schools, are using solar systems now to generate. And I noticed where the U of A is entering into a big time solar project.
That is correct. One thing about our program that will be interestingly different from what U of A might be doing is that North Arkansas College, being located in Harrison, we're very pointedly rural, and so our student base will be rural, low income, and the income level that is available for this job and also the growth potential for the whole sector is quite a thing. I mean, it's a thing for anyone who gets into it, but for students who will be coming from our area, I think it's it'll be quite an advance, quite a thing for us to train them to do jobs like that. And I think you may have seen in the materials, our survey of the situation of the landscape showed from our partners that we asked something like 800 jobs available right now, just in the solar and wind area, and then the wider renewable energy field. There's something like over 5,000 sort of in the region. So it just seems like it's really a hand in glove type thing for someone to be doing that in this area.
Have you had interest from students by inquiry, or how did?
Yeah, the people who put the main person at our college who put the program together is Jeff Smith, and he is the head of our HVACR program, and sort of did it in collaboration with David Zirkle, who is the head of our construction technology program, because something like this bridges those two areas. It kind of falls in between HVAC and construction. And Jeff has been excited about this and has had students inquire about it, and he's sort of the mastermind behind it, and he'll be the person who is finding the faculty member for us who'll be focusing on this. And so, yeah, from him and I think from David as well, there's been interest when they mentioned this program coming up. So
Yeah, good.
we already have those programs. Both are very well stocked. And I think people from both of those programs and maybe ones who might have taken one of those will instead look at this and say, that's a cool field.
Questions from the board?
This is Grayson Bigger. Can y'all hear me okay?
I hear a motion that we recommend to the full board approval of this technical certificate and certificate proficiency energy management at North Arkansas College. Okay, and a second? We get a second? Okay. Motion made and seconded. Those that would favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those by like sign, no? Okay, passed. Okay, action item number 6. This is an Associate of Science in Data Science. Data Analytics by Arkansas State University, Newport. Begins on page 6-1 of your agenda book. And Mr. Campbell will provide background for this.
Thank you, Dr. Cash. The following two programs, this one and the next one at SAU Tech, are both part of the DART Data Science Ecosystem and Consortium, and that's guided by the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, which is funded and supported by an NSF grant to expand research, workforce development, and STEM outreach in Arkansas. So by joining this consortium, the next two programs, ASU and SAUT, will have full access to the curriculum, the resources, professional development, and the training available under the umbrella of that consortium. So this proposed program is a fully online Associate of Science and Data Science and Data Analytics, and will equip students with the skills needed to navigate artificial intelligence, automation, and the rapid pace of technological advancement. Curriculum consists of 68 credit hours and allows students to also earn a certificate of general education as they progress through the program. Upon approval of the proposed program, ASUN will sign a 2+2 agreement with UA Fayetteville and its verbal commitment for a 2+2 from both ASU and Lyon College. Field of data science is projected to experience five-year annual growth rate of 8.4% in the region and 11% growth rate statewide. One full-time master's level faculty member will be hired to teach and implement the program. Existing facilities, resources, and equipment will be utilized, and the discontinuation of another program, the AS and Business Technology program, will compensate. There are 3 similar programs in the state, all of which are also part of the DART consortium. Projected annual enrollment is 20 by AY of 25, with overall cumulative enrollment of 30 by AY 29. Initial graduates are 15 by AY 26 and 18 by AY 29. And Dr. Tiffany Myers, I think, is here to speak to your consideration.
Yeah.
Tiffany.
Good morning. Thank you. I think Mr. Campbell's laid it out pretty clearly, but if I can answer any questions, I will. Just to give you a little bit of background information, we were first approached about this program by a local healthcare supplement company, and through other conversations with industry in the different industries such as healthcare and energy providers, and they all have expressed the need for such a program. As we know, on the national landscape as well as state and regional, data science is not being minimized in any effect. It's always growing. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics projects a 22% growth in employment for data scientists and analysts between 2021 and 2031, which is significantly higher than the average for all occupations. Regional workforce analysis show data science surpassing most regional job sectors in both projected wages and demand, so meeting that high wage, high demand metric there. So, as we know, these students can come to ASU Newport with this degree and get real-world experience and life experience and go to work after that 2 years, or they have the opportunity to transfer on to U of A through this ecosystem. And as Mr. Campbell mentioned, we are in talks with Lyon College and A-State to offer pathways to those programs as well. So overall, just feel like it's a really good benefit for our students. We are planning to implement this at the K-12 level as well, to start them in that STEM pathway early. and hope to engage them and keep them on that pathway. This program will also will offer the 3 data science courses that meet the computer science standards for Arkansas to our concurrent partners. I think Mr. Campbell addressed most of the other pieces, but if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
I was noticing the curriculum that's outlined pretty stringent.
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with, first of all, I was on your campus recently, just passing through Newport, and it's a beautiful
Oh,
campus.
thank you.
Are you familiar with the next program coming up, which is the one at Southern Arkansas University? Same,
It is, from
Very-
my understanding, it will be one of the programs inside that ecosystem.
very similar to
Yes,
yours.
very similar.
You're expecting, this is amazing, you're expecting 20 first-year enrollment, and they're expecting 4.
Well,
What do they know that you don't know?
not sure. I think maybe part of that could be the implementation within the concurrent. So we work very strongly with our concurrent partners and provide different pathways for the students. So, we try to be very strategic and not just offer, we do offer all of the gen ed courses, but we also try to get them on a pathway. So this would be a part of that, very strategic alignment for our K-12 partners. For the
I think
students.
20 sounds reasonable. I'm going to ask them in a minute why only 4, but yeah, I commend you for this program. I think it's a good one.
Thank you.
Is there a proposed timeline for incorporating it into the K through 12 curriculum?
Fall, I believe. My dean for STEM, Dr. Monica Mobley is here. Yes, that's the plan for fall.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Not, do I hear a motion to recommend to the full board this Associate of
moved.
Science and Data Science?
So moved.
Second? Motion made and seconded. All those that approve indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by like sign. Okay. That's one of the programs. Now, item number 7, action item number 7, Associate of Science and Data Science by Southern Arkansas University of Tech, begins on page 5-1 of the agenda book. And I was going to ask Mr. Campbell to maybe compare the two programs or show how they're alike or how they're different.
It's on 7-1.
Number 7?
Yeah, you said 5-1, it's 7-1. The book.
Oh, I've got it 7-1. I'm sorry. Okay. And kind of share with us how they coordinate together, I guess.
Sure. So largely the programs are very similar. So students will experience seamless transfer from one institution to the next. And then the differences are in the details. So the course hours for each program, which really just depends on the institution's capacity to offer the full spread of Fayetteville courses, of Fayetteville Consortium courses for all of those 2+2 agreements. So it's really a pathway and then how many courses that institution can offer to get to that next level of the degree. And then, of course, each institution is going to have different timelines for implementation, different expectations for enrollment, and different resources they're going to use. But they both have access to all the Fayetteville Consortium resources, and students will experience very similar experiences in the programs. Yeah. So we'll get to SAUTs real quick. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a 62 credit hour Associate of Science and Data Science. It'll prepare students for necessary skills to identify, clean, transform, model, and present data to identify relationships, inform conclusions, and support decision-making. The program will emphasize practical experience and interdisciplinary applications in both intermediate entry into the workforce and transfer to four-year institutions. Again, according to various labor market reports and forecasts, data science jobs are among the fastest growing roles in the technology sector with significant expansion expected over the next decade. There are no anticipated expenditures for this proposed program. Existing faculty, resources, equipment, facilities, and administrative support will be utilized. There are, again, 3 similar programs for now, which are also part of the DART consortium. Projected initial enrollment is, Dr. Carr mentioned, 4 by AY '25. Overall cumulative enrollment of 12 by '29. Projected initial graduates are 3 by AY '26 and up to 10 by AY '29. Dr. Valerie Wilson is here to speak to your consideration. Yeah, come on up, Valerie. And Mr. Devesh Akaria.
Good morning. I'm here with our faculty member, Devesh Asharia, to speak to any details and answer questions about our program. You already asked us, Mr. Carr, why we projected only 4 students. Let's talk to you about.
Good morning. Well, when we plan to start this program, we actually have started from this fall. There are 4 students right now. And our main aim was to create a program which would close the gap between transferring students plus some kind of proficiency certification where they can be hired after 2 years. Being where we are in Camden, it is very important for us to show the student that we have a program which will not only let you transfer, but also make your job ready. So under the umbrella of University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, we have started this, and right now we have 4 students, but I'm pretty sure, like we started cybersecurity program 2 years ago, and right now our enrollment has grown to almost 22 students within 2 years. And this is from the support of SAU. We have a 2+2 agreement with them. Similar to that, data science will be with the support from University of Arkansas at Fayetteville.
So you think you'll far exceed 4?
We will.
I would ask one question. Why did you place so many general ed courses at the very beginning of it?
The curriculum which we got from University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, we have adopted the same curriculum. So whatever they are offering in the first 2 years of their degree plan, we just pick the same courses. So they suggested us to have at least 24 hours of data science major courses, and the rest of it would be gen ed courses.
I noticed they're all pretty general in nature. First year, maybe year and a half.
I commend you to do this with no additional expenditures. That's a positive, yeah.
Since we already have all the resources for cybersecurity program, there are not any special equipment needed for data science program. So we would extra.
Any additional questions? Not, do I hear a motion that we adopt this for the full board? Motion made, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign say no. Okay, motion approved. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Now we go to action item number 8. It's Doctorate of Philosophy and Environmental Health Sciences by the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences, begins on page, make sure I get you right on this one.
8-1.
8-1 of your agenda book, yes. And Mr. Campbell will provide information.
Dr. Cash, if I may, I've got a question on a text here from Chair Bigger, who's online, but we can't get her to ask the question online, but she's had a question about the DRT, the DART related programs and the others that are out there, and what the current enrollments for the previous DART partners and how they're looking. So I don't know, Mason, if you know of that, or if maybe if there's someone in the DART consortium that might be able to speak to that.
I can probably pull enrollments if I had a moment, but certainly I believe NWAC and North Ark, and there's one other institution. I don't have the list in front of me, but are the enrollments in those programs, that partnership being filled? Are those strong programs? Seeing some nods.
Dr. Massengill, I don't know if Dr. Martin may know about the DART programs. It's kind of off the cuff. I don't mean to put anybody on the spot, but Chair Bigger, if you can hear us, we're getting some nods in the audience that from that program enrollment and our programs are good.
I could follow up with some solid numbers.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 8 is a PhD in Environmental Health Sciences from UAMS. The proposed program will offer students advanced study in the field of environmental health sciences, or the study of how chemical, physical, and biological exposures cause adverse effects on individuals, communities, and the environment. The competency-based curriculum will emphasize exposure assessment of single or geospatial sources and lifestyle factors, pharmaceutical-induced toxicity, public health microbiology, and food safety. The program will be comprised of 75 graduate credit hours, a candidacy exam, and dissertation. Labor market information for the next 10 years shows a steady need of 30-plus trained environmental specialists per year with an average annual salary of over $71,000, which is expected to increase annually by 2%. No additional costs are anticipated for the offering of this program, and all of the courses required for the program are currently being taught in the College of Public Health or the College of Medicine. The proposed program will utilize existing facilities, equipment including classroom space, computer equipment, and computing and storage servers. For administrative purposes, the student program mentor teams will be required to cover tuition and fees, which in practice means the program will provide funds for the first 2 years of tuition, fees, and a student stipend. Projected annual initial enrollment is 2 students by AY of 25, with overall cumulative enrollment of 5 to 7 students by AY of 29. Projected initial graduates are 2 by AY 28, with up to 4 by AY 29, and there are no similar programs in the state. And Dr. Gunnar Boyson, I believe, is here to speak to your consideration.
Good morning, everyone. We're excited about that PhD program in our new department. It fills a critical need for the students as well as for the future of Arkansas, because environmental health science is a really important specialty. And previously, we don't have the ability to teach this, and students from Arkansas who get a master's in environmental health science and want to advance their career usually have to go out of state to get that similar degree. We also heard from industry and partner and regulatory field that they usually have to hire advanced degree environmental scientists from out of state. So it's both the country, the industry, government, students all need that. We have a small enrollment because we're going to have to fund them, and the students are required to do a thesis, which means research. So we have limited research on our faculty who can host and do that. We wrote down 2 students initially. We try to have 2 to 3 students enroll every time, but at that level, not everybody gonna finish. So our numbers are a little conservative. I think when you want to ask me where the program will be in 5 or 10 years, I think we'll probably have a stable number of 5 to 7 students in the program. But to get to that point, we first have to start with 2, 6, 8, and then we'll see how the 8 do. So, any question?
How many PhD programs does UAMS offer?
Wow, UMS offers
Here
several
comes some help, I think.
PhD programs. You know,
Hi, I'm Kristen Sturba, Associate Provost for Students Administration. We have a PhD in biomedical sciences, epidemiology, health systems and services research, and health promotion and prevention research. So we don't have any that cover kind of this area.
Thank you. Thank you for helping out. I just didn't know the numbers. So in the past, we sometimes have some students in one of the other programs. We try to make them into environmental scientists, but they'll never get the full breadth what our program will provide. And that's why most students who want to get a PhD in environmental health science actually leave the state.
This report says that we need 30 a year, 30 environmental scientists a year in Arkansas. I guess that's not only PhDs, that could be a master's level.
So there's 30 environmental health specialists between masters and PhDs, and as companies and needs is bigger, they usually have they need couple advanced degree and some master's students.
So it would not be all PhDs.
Would not be all PhDs.
Yeah.
Once a student obtains this PhD, what does the typical job look like for them?
Well, when he goes into academic, he will do research for doing a better good to the communities. When he goes into a government, he would work with the government regulatory agency to keep the community safe. When he works for big companies like the mining companies in South Arkansas, he would go and collect data for the mining and see how the mining affects the environment, and they would provide that data to the regulatory. So bigger companies all have an occupational and environmental health specialist on staff to make sure that they comply with regulatory agencies. And for the difference between a master's and a PhD, the PhD would oversee the monitoring of the company operation, while the master students maybe just take data from other companies to analyze them. So there's a little advanced knowledge needed to do that.
Thank you.
Well, I was just noticing the expected earnings from a degree. I think it's $71,600. Is that what you?
Yeah, that's a pretty conservative number.
Now,
I think
what do you anticipate the cost for a student to earn a PhD in environmental health? And to follow that up, what kind of return can a student expect on their investment?
So our program is actually structured so that the institution will provide stipend for the first 2 years, and then the faculty will use extramural funds to pay for the stipend of the students. So while there are technically no fees to the students or no cost, the students could also pay by themselves, but this is really not common in PhD level education. So to answer your question, there's essentially time and study,
Yeah.
work, investment involved.
And I know from experience, it's expensive to go on into higher ed
Well,
with doctoral programs.
one have to work, have to live on a lower salary. I guess the student stipends are not really 70,000 at that point.
Okay. Any other questions? Do I have a motion that we recommend this to the full board for approval?
So moved.
Second? Those that favor that indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All by like sign no. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Moving along now to, this is an information item, agenda item number 9. And this is a doctorate of philosophy in forest resources by the University of Arkansas, Monticello. Begins on page 9-1 of your agenda book. And again, this is only information to be followed up by a later documentation.
Thank you, Dr. Cash. So yes, the Higher Education Coordinating Board policy has a very specific change process for institutions proposing a role and scope change. The process requires ADHE staff to present the role and scope change as informational purposes after it's been submitted and reviewed. And then it requires a first reading of that proposal. So the University of Arkansas at Monticello proposes a change to its role and scope to include the offering of doctoral programs with the creation of a Doctor of Philosophy in Forest Resources as its inaugural program. Arkansas has never offered a PhD in forest resources and has been entirely reliant on doctorate programs from other states. This doctorate program will be offered by UAM's College of Forestry, Agriculture, and Natural Resources, which also houses the Arkansas Forest Research Center of the University of Arkansas Division of Agriculture, which provides funding and research that will support to deliver this program. The proposed PhD will require 72 post-baccalaureate credit hours, of which a minimum 48 hours will be coursework and up to 24 hours of credit for research. Additionally, the degree requirements include the completion of an entrance seminar, comprehensive exams, a dissertation, 1 semester of instruction of lower level undergraduate course or lab, and a dissertation defense. Over the first 5 years, UAM expects to enroll at least 14 students in the proposed doctorate program. Existing resources, facilities, research equipment, and funding will be used to support the offering of this proposed program. No new costs are associated with the offering of the program. Labor market information indicates modest annual job growth at state and national levels, with annual salaries ranging from $76,000 to $82,000. And as previously stated, there are no similar programs in the state. Projected initial enrollment is 2 students by AY of 26, with overall cumulative enrollment of 13 by AY 30. Projected initial graduates are 2 students by AY 29, with up to 5 by AY of 30. And this concludes the first reading of this summary, and UAM representatives will provide a full presentation at the January 2025 board meeting.
Do you know where, what is the closest doctorate in forestry management into the state of Arkansas, since we don't have a program in the state?
I don't know if the UAM folks have that on. Oh, they do. I was like, I can have that ready later. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Michael Blazer. I'm the Dean of the College of Forestry, Agriculture, and Natural Resources. To answer your question, the closest geographically, there are doctoral programs in natural resources that have some forestry bent to that, in Missouri, Oklahoma State, and LSU. Mississippi State has a PhD in forest. Mississippi State University has a PhD in forest resources. Those are all the closest to us.
And the enrollment in each of those institutions, I'm assuming, is good?
That's correct. Actually, what we're experiencing is a shortage in graduates across the country. We're experiencing it with all our job searches. It's taken a year plus to find qualified applicants, particularly the type of expertise that has an applied research bent to it. And that's where we really see that we would have a strength as a campus, because that really is something we have a good rewards structure for faculty engaged in applied research, and we in close partnership with industry, with agencies at the federal and state level, and with nonprofits.
Okay. Monticello's got a great reputation in forestry. You got a new center there too, don't you?
That is correct, and that is one of the propellants behind our moving forward with this proposal, because we've had a great level of extra investment in our unit. First, 2 years ago, through the Arkansas Center for Forest Business, which created a cohort of new experts that have economics experience and expertise, and very recently this year with the funding for the Arkansas Forest Health Research Center, which will give us a research facility on par with those at Mississippi State, Auburn, and University of Georgia, dedicated to monitoring forest health threats and conducting research on how to mitigate it.
I commend you for this. I think it's time that Monticello had this.
Thank you. Personally, I think we've got a lot of great faculty, and for them to get this opportunity to have apprentices with them to kind of carry forward their expertise and their ethics is going to be a big boon to us as well.
At no new cost.
At no new cost. We're trying to maximize return on investment for these infusions we've had from the state and from our partners like the Five Oaks Center, and to be able to add more expertise for Arkansas's forest industry.
Any additional questions?
Make the motion, we approve it. You
Okay,
need a motion for this? No,
Have a
myself.
second?
Information item only?
yeah,
Okay.
number 9.
See you in
We
January.
don't, they're coming back in January for a proposal for a recommendation and vote. So since it's information, no voting. So information items 10 and 11 is Tracy Harrell will provide information on this.
Agenda item number 10 are the letters of notification that have been received since the July meeting. Letters of notification are reasonable and moderate extension of existing approved certificates and degrees. They have been approved by the Commissioner of ADHE, but must be included on the agenda prior to initiation. As you can see here, we've had 16 public institutions submit letters of notification, resulting in 94 actions affecting 76 unique programs of study, with the most common being curriculum revision. It's worth noting, I just said that. The full comprehensive breakdown of the letters of notification are listed in the board book. And although this is not an action item, I would be willing to answer any questions if you have any.
I notice on these, and I don't have anything to compare, the percentage of online classes, is that going up on all of these mostly?
Most.
I mean, increasing. I
Mhm.
mean, notice a number of them are over 50%. Is that in the past, have we had lower than that, or is this?
I think it's commonplace now that online education
Okay.
is what students expect.
I noticed
What they-
that seems to be the trend, that
Right.
everything moving up.
Dr. Cash, I can speak to that just a little bit. I will say that since the COVID era, or in the last, I would say 8 years, we've seen that at least in the regional publics, which is the number that I've looked at, that our offerings of courses that were full online or complemented by online rose from somewhere in the low 20% range to more in the mid upper 30% range in the last 8 or so years. COVID mashed the gas pedal on that. It's kind of become an expectation. And I would venture to guess that all of my colleagues in the audience would tell you that whether it's a full face-to-face class or not, there is an online expectation and component to that delivery. That's just the state of where we are. But so, I believe fully that our online programs can be just as good or just as bad as our face-to-face programs. So I think the research will tell you that. But we have seen, this proliferation of an expectation of online, at least complementary functionality, as well as more full delivery.
Okay.
Okay.
Any additional questions? Okay.
Agenda item number 11 are the letters of intent received from Arkansas public institutions. Five public institutions submitted 5 letters of intent. As you can see here, breakdown of new off-campus instruction centers, programs, and role and scope change from UAM. And again, this is not an agenda, action item, but I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Any
Okay.
questions on this?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on now to, this is an action item number 12. The out-of-state Arkansas private institution resolution, beginning on page 12-1 of the agenda book. And Alana Colburn will provide background on this.
Alana. Yes, thank you.
Got it?
Yes. And agenda item number 12, there are 6 institutions from out of state that are requesting certification. All these programs meet the requirements of Arkansas law and board policy. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any major changes from last year to this year?
I mean, these are new degree programs that they're asking for your approval of. So, yeah, they're new from last year. So, and there's also 2 new institutions. So,
Do you know how many Arkansas students are enrolled in these programs?
well, I can get that number to you. I think I got it a couple of board meetings ago, but I can send it again. And also there's the Arkansas enrollments that are recorded on the State Authorization Reciprocity Agreement website, and that's based in Colorado. That's the National Reciprocity.
I guess I'm wondering if the enrollments were real large in 1 or 2 of these programs, it would be a great opportunity for Arkansas schools to do that rather than having out-of-state school do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But would you like me to get you those numbers?
If next
Okay.
meeting, yes. fine.
Yes. Mhm.
Any additional discussion? Since this is an action item, we need to make full recommendation to the full board. Do I have a motion that we do that?
Need a motion, you say?
Yeah.
I got it. I'll do it.
Second. Have a motion made and seconded to recommend to the full board. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
All by like sign, no. Okay, it's passed. Thank you, and we've got items 13 and 14, and you're going to address those as well.
Yes.
And this is nothing more than information.
Right.
Right.
Yes. These are information from out-of-state and private institutions. Their letters of notification you just heard from the publics, and these are the private and out-of-state. There are 7 institutions that submitted applications for recertification of previously approved programs. There are 4 out-of-state institutions that submitted letters of notification for minor changes in programs that are already authorized.
Are many of these students that are military at Jacksonville, military base?
No, no, they're not. I can explain more if you'd like, but yeah. The students that are military students, they would be in programs that are exempt from authorization. So those wouldn't be listed in these items. So.
I have been on this board for about 10 years, and this has always bothered me that these schools come in, this must be 60 or 70 programs offered to our students in this state.
Mhm.
And actually, any of our private schools, expensive schools, I
Mhm.
would think it's an opportunity for public schools in Arkansas to do something about this.
Mhm.
Any additional questions? Okay, we thank you.
Mhm. And then agenda item number 14 is the list of the out-of-state institutions that are going to be offering programs in the future. Those are the letters of intent.
Now, these are not particularly new, are they?
Right. A lot of those are the programs that have already been authorized or certified by you, that they have to request recertification of those programs
yeah.
every 3 years. So.
Any additional questions? We have Ms. Colburn. She's the authority on this.
I don't know about that. I try.
Okay, thank you. That concludes the academic committee action on items 5 through 8 and number 12 to recommend to the full board. Also, the academic committee has reviewed 9 through 11 and 13 through 14. Do I hear a motion that we adjourn from the academic committee at this time? A second? All in favor, say aye. Okay, we adjourn from that. Moving on to item